Do you have an XP Deus? Do you feel a little intimidated with all the programs and settings? Wouldn't it be nice if there was just one simple program which would enhance your experience, shall we say? Well, join me in the Metal Detector Skills School. Let's have a talk about a new program. Now this is a really simple program and it's aimed at those of you who are new to the Deus or you're new to the menu. You just want to start taking your first steps into the menus and its features. This is a simple two-tone program and it works really well. So let's run through the settings step by step and just ease you gently into the Deus menu. First of all, we turn it on. Now every custom program requires a platform and this is normally one of the factory default programs. It's something which you build your custom program on. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the default factory program number 2, which is Gold Max Power, as my starting point. First of all, I'll go into the menu. Disk 6.1, gonna leave that, don't touch it. Press the expert button because we want to get into the tones. We want to change the tones. 3 tones? No, we're going to scroll down with the arrow key and we're going to find 2 tones. Now we're going to press the expert key, the one on the left, and you're presented with 202 and 518. These are the factory default tones and we're going to change them slightly. 202 is your iron tone, no problem, let's leave that alone. Let's press the arrow key down so we're adjusting now the 518 tone. Press the plus button and change that tone all the way up to 881. Perfect. Now we press the back button and the back button again, so we're in the surface menu. Go down 1, sensitivity is 90. Now I'm not going to adjust the sensitivity, I'm using the white HF coil, but if you're using the black X35 coil, I'd strongly suggest you go into sensitivity and then expert to the TX gain and drop the TX gain down from 2 to 1. That's just my personal preferences, it's entirely up to you. The frequency is 14.4 as a factory default. I'm using the white HF coil. I want to drop it up to the middle range, which is about 31 kilohertz. But once again, frequencies entirely up to you. Just change it, have a little play around, see how you feel. Okay, so that's the frequency done. Iron volume, not going to touch that at all. Reactivity, now here's where we're going to make a few changes. Factory default's 2, I'm going to go up to 4. Reactivity 4. Now, this is a fast reactivity. The machine becomes very dynamic, but I can hear the experts out there saying, oh yeah, reactivity 4 isn't as deep as the lower reactivities, which is absolutely true. But sometimes it's a case of putting fines in your pocket, recovery rate compared to depth. But for sure, if you want to go deeper, use a lower reactivity if your grounds will allow it. And that's all we've done. Press the back button. Now the Evo program is put into your machine. All you need to do now is save it really. So what we do, we go into options, drop down to programs, press select, press save. I'm going to slot number 13, which is the empty slot, press select, and then using the plus and minus buttons, spell out Evo, and then back to the O, and then press the right hand button, validate, to save your program. And that's all there is to it. So just a quick recap on the 3 adjustments you need to make. Tones, 212, 881. Reactivity, go from 2 to 4. Save your program. That's all you really need to do. Frequency and the TX gain is entirely up to you what you use. Right, now it's time to go out there and just show you what this program sounds like. This Evo program really is a simplified sonar program. We've got some great feedback about the sonar program and I wanted to try and replicate it in simple terms. Sonar program uses a tone break, which people are finding a little bit difficult putting it into their menu. So what I've done here, I've just simplified. It's not quite as dynamic as the sonar program. You don't quite get so much ground feedback, but you get that nice high tone. And while I'm on the subject of tones, 881 is a high tone. and everyone's hearing is different. For example, a few years ago I wouldn't have even entertained a higher tone, but now I like to hear it. Big differences. So when you're out in the field, feel free to change that second tone to whatever you're comfortable with. There's a nice clean sound. 59, 61 on the meter. But can you hear though how that high tone is just breaking through? It's just, for me, it's such a nice sound compared to the factory default sound, which is about 500 and something. Let's have a dig. I don't know what it is. To be fair with you, I don't really care. All I want to do is just show you guys what this Evo program sounds like. That's the whole object to this exercise. It ain't about me finding treasure. It's about me demonstrating the program. So let's dig it out. Here we go. Small piece of lead, not sure what it is, but lovely sound. You'll find using the Evo program, it's quite smooth. You don't get a lot of iron noise like you do with the Sonar program. It's quite well behaved. And also, if you want to change the horseshoe screen to the XY screen, it's really easy. All you do is go into Options, Configuration, and you'll see the profile there, and just use the plus and minus buttons to go from horseshoe to the XY screen. Now this signal here, obviously it's iron, it's got a low tone with it. Once again, an irony tone, and it's giving the low numbers. So it's a really simple program, just leave the grunts and dig the high bleeps. But look out for those deep ones, because they will be a really ghosty high sound, and quite often you won't get a target meter reading at all. It'll just say dash dash. Now they're the ones worth investigating. We've got a nice big bit of iron there, as you can see. But there, we've got a good tone, but no meter reading. Iron. It's got to be worth a look. It could be anything really, but let's have a look. I'm just interested because there's no meter reading at all. Well, it wasn't iron, that was it, that was one thing. It's in this clump, I think. Nope. Nope. Still looking. Looks like a tiny little stud or something. Can you see it there? So that just proves how valuable reactivity 4 is. You've got that next to that. And that's a big bit of iron, and that's a tiny non-ferrous target. Shame it's not a coin or something a little bit more interesting, but that's the way it goes. Whoa, that is an absolute massive signal. But it's clean, it's a steady 75, 77, jumping around the 70s, but look. Sounds like a Coke can. Okay, let's dig it out. Yeah, I didn't think it was that deep. Right. Somewhere over here. Bit of silver perhaps. There it is. There it is. Broken hammered coin, look. Wow. Excellent stuff. Massive signal. Massive signal. Well, there you go. Quite a big target, not very deep. I think any program would have found it, but it's still welcome to find, isn't it? So that's the Evo program. Get out there, give it a try, get involved with your Deus, have a little bit of a play around and just find your limits with it. If you want to give the sonar program a try, I'll post the links below. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you get a little message every time a new video comes up. See you soon.